Butters and Black Soap offers high-quality, handcrafted butters, black soaps, and oils made with all-natural ingredients that improve the appearance of hair, skin, and nails. Try Butters and Black Soap's amazing collection of African black soaps sourced from Ghana and infused with ingredients such as turmeric, oatmeal, sea moss, coconut milk, activated charcoal, and more to promote healthy-looking skin. Say goodbye to dry, cracked skin with the Sea Moss Body Cream by Butters and Black Soaps. This non-greasy formula will leave your skin soft and supple. If you want to achieve a natural, healthy glow, try one of their whipped shea butters. Indulge in the luxurious feel of African black soaps and more by Butters and Black Soap. Shop now at www.butters_blacksoap.com. Use custom code WISDOM for a 15% discount. Shop now.
Hello, kings and queens. It's your girl, Wisdom's daughter, and welcome back to another Wisdom Family Picnic, because it's been a while, right? It's only been a few days, but it feels like it's been a long time. So let me see who us got in the building. Let's see who was first. All right, Sammy Cake was first in the building. Thank you so much, Sammy Cake. All right, now. Appreciate the love. I got Linda Gibbs in the building. Said, good evening, Wisdom's daughter. Cupcake in the building. Say, hi, everyone. Happy to be at the picnic. Listen, we got some jerk chicken for the picnic. We got some cabbage, some escovitch. We got, what else we got? We got some plantain. All right. We got some festival. Where my Caribbean folks at? I got June's Poetry in the building. He said, good evening, everyone, as we prepare for this sobering discussion. Absolutely. We are not going to talk about Zesty Nesty on this evening. Okay. We're going to get into something a little bit more serious than him, because it's a discussion that needs to be had. We're going to be talking about what happened to Sonya. No, not Sonya Durham, not Sonya Waller. All right. We're going to be talking about the late Sonya Massey, this beautiful young woman who was unalived by police after calling 911 for help. And so I know we usually have a kiki over here. We're going to have a real serious conversation because we know that this is a systemic problem. I was ultimately curious because I did not understand how this woman ended up losing her life after calling 911 for help. All I knew about the story is that she had a pot in her hand. Now, I can understand somewhat sort of how we can mistake a cell phone for maybe the barrel or the hand portion of a weapon. You know, police, law enforcement, they can't tell the difference between a cell phone and a firearm, but a pot. And so I was able to acquire the video. I am not going to show all of the video, but we are going to dive into exactly what happened and what the police did afterwards. Those of you who are members, I will put the full body cam footage in members. It is not graphic. Let me just say this. It is not graphic because of where the victim was standing. She is shielded, but it is eye-opening. All right. And so, like I said, every now and again, we got to have a serious conversation over here. And this was just an important story that I thought we needed to talk about as a family. And so Snoopalicious in the building said, hey, WD in chat. I got Lisa Glaze. Hey, WD. It's a tough subject matter. Let me sit down. D West Knows said, good evening, Lorinda Smith Stanford in the building. One leg off. Diva Ray. P. Cantan said, I'm up in here. And 313 the West Side. Hey y'all. Oh, this is too emotional for me. She said, check y'all next time. Love y'all. Don't go 313 Best Side. This is not going to necessarily be a discussion where you're going to need tissues. We're not going to go that deep, but I think we need to do a deep dive into what happened here, because it would appear that Black and brown people are not safe in their own home, that we can't even call 911 without fear of losing our lives. And I say that for a very specific reason. And as we watch the footage just shortly, you'll understand what I'm talking about. And so I'm going to go to this article, and I'm going to go ahead and read that article now. This is not one of those kiki type of picnics. As I said, we're going to get a little bit serious, and then and this is not going to be a long live, but yeah, I just, again, I think it was an important conversation to have. So I don't expect there to be hundreds of people up in here because it is a tough subject. But those of you who can brave it out, let's have a real conversation about what happened to this young lady, because it's important to understand what happened so that we can try to prevent it from happening to one of us, to our friends and our family. This woman, just a disclaimer, she did not do anything wrong. She did not do anything wrong. As we are going to learn as we go through the video, our law enforcement have a problem. And their problem is that they do not understand how to engage the mental health community. Okay. I am not, this is her. I don't know how long ago this picture was taken, but I believe she's in her 30s. I'm going to go to the article and read it to give you some context, and then we'll look at the video. But even watching this, I could tell from the moment this woman opens the door, she is having a mental health crisis. And I do not understand how it is that the police, who are trained, don't know that. All right. So as you're coming in to the picnic, make sure you hit the like button. If you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe button so that you can participate in the chat, because we are in subscriber mode only. All right. And so again, we have a real systemic problem. And this is not just police officers who don't have, police officers who are just attacking Black and brown people. We're seeing this in the mental health community. And then, of course, we're seeing it with Black and brown people who are suffering from a mental health crisis that is not being recognized by our law enforcement. And let me just say that there are good officers out there. Hey, Ari Cooks in the building. How are you? And you need a solution too. There are some good law enforcement out there. Unfortunately, people like this man that you see on the screen make it hard for the others that are doing their job appropriately. And as we're going to see in the video, the partner realized very quickly, Houston, we have a problem. He realized very quickly that this was not going to end well. Just wish that he could have intervened a little bit sooner. And so let me share my screen and go to the article. I want to start there. And so this article is from a online magazine called The Cut. So here's what we know about Sonya Massey and her unaliving. So in the early hours of July 6th, and let me just make sure that you guys are able to see. Let me move this out of the way. Okay. And I will increase the size of the screen for those of you who like to read it along with me. In the early hours of July 6th, Sonya Massey called 911 looking for help with a suspected intruder. But within minutes of the officers entering her Springfield, Illinois home, the 36-year-old mother lost her life. She was fatally shot by Sangamon County Sheriff's Deputy Sean Grayson. Remember that name. The police unaliving, which sparked protest in Massey's name and drew the attention of President Joe Biden, was caught on tape, detailed in a 36-minute body cam video released on Monday. The footage that I have is not 36 minutes. And again, I'm not going to be showing all of it here. The sheriff's office has fired Grayson, and a review of the Illinois State Police investigation conducted by a use of force expert found that, as we're going to see, the deputy was not justified in his use of deadly force, per the state's attorney in a news release. Now, as of last week, Grayson has been charged with first-degree unaliving. And that's important because what we've seen in the past is that these officers often use the excuse that they were afraid for their life, which he tried it. We're going to see it. He tried it. All right. They use an excuse. I'm afraid for my life. And they get away with it. They get put on administrative leave, but they get to keep their benefits. And so what we're starting to see is law enforcement being held accountable for violating policy. The events began unfolding when Massey reported a possible prowler. In the body cam footage, as we're going to see, Massey is wearing a long white robe. She answers the door for the two deputies who arrived at the scene at 12:50 a.m. Now, when our video begins, it's a little after 1 a.m. that they arrive. After scoping out her yard, which they do, they walk around her yard. They're looking at this, they're looking at that. The deputies join Massey inside her home. There is an exchange that occurs before they enter the home. And so as we watch the video, I will pause here and there because I want to highlight some things that may be easily missed. Now, the officers ask her a couple of questions. They tell her that she's not in trouble. That's Grayson. Grayson says, you're not in trouble. And this is what he says to her after Massey hesitates to give her last name. And before you know it, Grayson points to a pot of water on her stove. He says, "We don't need a fire while we're here." And Massey rushes over to the stove to turn off the pot or to pull the pot off the stove. She picks up the pot and begins pouring hot water into the sink. Now, when I first watched this footage, I didn't read this article. So it sounded like she poured the hot water into the sink. That's what it sounded like. I watched it from two different angles, which is in this footage, and she does pour the water into the sink. So you tell me why this woman is not alive. If the threat was the hot water, why is she not alive? The second deputy starts to back away a little bit, and Massey asks him, "Where are you going?" He says, "Away from your hot, steaming water." Now, Massey starts to laugh. The other officer starts to laugh. And then she says, and I believe that this statement was what triggered Grayson, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." She says it twice. He says to her, "You better not. You better not." Now, for those of you listening who may not understand why he reacted the way that he reacted, anyone who's grown up in church or around church knows that when you rebuke anything, someone or something in the name of Jesus, you're rebuking evil or rebuking the devil. And so he perceived her comment and internalized it as if, he's a devil. That's how he took it personal, as if she's saying, "Oh, you're a devil." He says, "You better effing not, or I swear to God, I will F word shoot you in the F word face." And I don't have to read the rest of this because we're gonna see it. What is sad is that he fires on her, and he did what they did to Eric Garner and what they've done to many people, many Black men and Black women, but primarily Black men who've been unalived in real time on a body camera. He's talking to her knowing that she's gone, still telling her to put down a pot as if he doesn't know that what he just did. One of the officers wants to go to his car to get a kit to administer some kind of aid. And Grayson tells him, "Nah, dude, that was a headshot. She's gone." All right, let's go to the body cam footage. I will come back to this article because President Biden responds. And I think that it's important that is highlighted because this is a big problem. This is not a Sonya Massey issue. This is an American issue. This is a you issue. It's a me issue. It's a community issue. And we've had things like this happen before. And we've had other former presidents who didn't even bother to reach out to the family to say anything. So, all right, I'm going to pivot over to this video. And as I said, it is not graphic. There are a lot of mistakes that you're going to notice along the way. And I can literally pinpoint the moment when this encounter should have ended and the police should have went about their business. But unfortunately, that's not what happened. And I'm curious to know if you see what I see. So let's go to the video. Now it's 1:12 in the morning. I don't know if you noticed the timestamp, but it's 1:12 in the morning. I don't know exactly what time she called, but the article stated that they responded around 12:50. I'm not exactly sure if that's accurate, because that means that they would have been wandering around her property for 20 minutes, and you could see that's a very small house. So 12:50 may have been the time that she actually called 911, and these are the officers that showed up.
There's a bike sitting back there. Where? On the back door. I don't know if it's hers. I'll tap it. So it's more. Pretty nice to contact her. It's someone through a brick to her. You want to try and call her 17 back here and let her know we're out front.
So they're calling dispatch because apparently, well, as we're going to see, she ends up calling 911 again. She's literally on the phone with 911 while the officers are at her home, but they're calling dispatch so that they can, I guess, call her back and let her know that they're outside.
Yes, mess that up good. I hear the phone ringing. You didn't see anybody out walking that way? No, not when I came in. I didn't see anybody that way. I hear her phone ringing and she's refusing to come to the door, so we're about to go connect. She's dead in there. Oh, I hope not.
I don't know if you heard that, but he makes a comment about, this is Grayson. Grayson makes a comment, a snarky remark about her potentially being unalived in there, being dead in there, which I don't find funny, primarily because he just literally said, I can hear her phone ringing. But that's the comment that he makes, and his partner says, oh, well, I hope not.
Is this a ring doorbell? Yeah, it doesn't work though. Sheriff's office. Two houses down, I think. Oh no, it's right here. Put the drugs out. Go ahead.
Now, just listen to his tone of voice. He's going to knock on that door one more time and listen to his tone. It's not even friendly.
She was yelling inside. Still hold on. You coming to the door or not? All right, hurry up.
You coming to the door or not? Hurry up. This is being said by the person who swore an oath to serve and protect, which means he's a civil servant. I don't think that's how civil servants are supposed to speak to people. And I'm pretty sure that they know what neighborhood they're in. I'm pretty sure that they know that the home that they are responding to is the home of a Black or brown person. I don't understand why he has to speak to her like that. Because in that case, then leave. You know what? She's not answering the door. Apparently everything is okay. And maybe he should have left. That would have been good for him and for the late Sonya Massey.
Town, bud. Sheriff's office, the one you called.
Nobody is out here, and I need to go here. Please don't hurt me, y'all.
Oh, it hurt you. You called us.
Okay, please.
So what'd you hear?
Okay. So the first thing she says when she opens the door is, please don't hurt me. Oh God, please don't hurt me. So that was the first thing that got my attention because that's a little odd. But even though this woman is clearly having some type of a mental health crisis, she still perceived and discerned that she may not be safe at the hands of the police. And she, is clearly mentally ill. But she understood from the time she opened that door that there was reason to be afraid.
Somebody keeps outside my house, y'all. Please,
Is this your car over here?
Please, God, please, God, please.
Is this your car over here? Oh,
Please, God.
that's not your black car in the driveway?
Mm-mm.
Oh, well, we checked your yard. We walked around the whole block. We didn't see anybody.
Mm-mm.
Right? We don't. We checked the whole area. There's nobody out walking around.
I know, y'all. Please, God, please, God. I'm trying to get help, y'all, but
What do you need help with?
nothing. I just, please, God, please, God, please. I don't know what to do.
Do with what?
Huh?
What do you need help with?
Nothing. I just wanted to see if I could help me.
What do you want help with?
Huh?
What do you want help with?
I heard somebody outside.
Yeah, we checked your house. We checked your backyard. I walked all the way through all these backyards. We checked your front yard. We didn't see nobody. Yeah, so nobody's out here.
You didn't see anybody?
No. Nope.
Oh,
Checked the whole area.
okay.
What took you so long to answer the door?
Oh, I was trying to put on some clothes, sir. I'm sorry. I was trying to get.
I got you. All right. Is there anything else we can do for you?
Huh?
Is there anything else I can do for you?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. All right. You doing all right mentally?
So that's where, in my opinion, this should have ended. She starts to close her door. The second officer is turning to turn away. And now Grayson asks her if she's doing okay mentally because he obviously is picking up that something is wrong. So if he's asking her, are you doing okay mentally? And he's feeling like, you know what? She seems a little off. I don't understand why he responds the way that he responds later in the video.
Yes.
Sure.
My medicine and stuff.
All right. Okay.
I love y'all. Thank y'all.
All right. That's not your black card.
I love y'all. Thank y'all. He asked her, are you all right mentally? She says, yes, I'm taking my medication. He says, okay. She says, I love y'all. Thank y'all. And clearly she's trying to close her door and go back in her house. And that should have been the end of it. But no, Grayson needs to ask her about the black car in her driveway. And she already told them that that's not her car.
SUV? Whose is it? You don't know? Someone just parked it in your driveway?
They brought it to my driveway.
And just left it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's run that. Yeah. 19, I got a 20 clear.
Does anyone else live here with you? Somebody else.
David Mary 43556. You got a name? You got an idea or something? Take your name real quick. Catch this. See who we spoke to.
Now I thought those were gunshots, but then I realized that it's even though it's after July 4th, people still shoot off fireworks, you know, for days past July 4th. But one officer is obsessed with this black vehicle. Now they've already surveyed her property. They've already walked around. They didn't see anything. I don't know what else this officer thinks he's going to find. And now the other officer suddenly wants to get her name and wants to get her information. But they didn't ask her that initially. They could have asked her when she first came to the door. So what this does is this basically opens up a can of worms for them to come into her home. And that's where things escalate when it shouldn't have.
Simple.
So they're in her house to get her information. They want to get her name. They're in her house just to get her identification.
Hello? Yeah, I need I got the sheriff department here, but I was calling for help from y'all.
Okay, are you there with me?
They're here in my house right now.
Okay, I'll let you go so you can talk to them.
No, hold on, wait a second, son.
You can hang up, Conwell. It's good.
For what? You're there with the deputy, correct?
No, hold on, okay?
So once again, just the treatment. She calls 911 back and says the sheriff's department is here. I don't know which department she called, but the sheriff's department is here, but I was expecting y'all. And basically they're like, well, if the police are there, then go talk to them. Just a total disregard. Obviously something is wrong. You see the state of her house, because now they're in her house and they're looking around. They're looking at everything. This is about to escalate really quickly to the point where I had to rewind it back because it happened so fast. I didn't even know what happened. But again, I'm trying to figure out why, if they identified that she may possibly have a mental health issue, why they responded as if she was, some big time criminal.
Hold on for what?
Just 1 second, okay? Okay.
What's up?
I got some paperwork. Can you grab that Bible, please?
Yeah. Hey, I just need your name so we can get out of here. Was there any damage previous to your car?
Previous, yeah, it was.
Okay, what was the damage?
A dent, I believe.
But what about windows?
Oh, it was something that happened earlier.
Okay, perfect. What is your last name? Shouldn't have to think about your last name. You're not in trouble. I just need to attach.
Massey.
Huh?
Massey.
Do you have an ID? That'd make things so much easier. I just need just driver's license will do, and then I'll get out of your hair.
I want to show y'all my paperwork.
I will get your paperwork.
What paperwork?
Okay. I got some paperwork.
Well, just get your ID.
Well, let's get your ID first, and then
one task at a time here.
Okay. Let me
Here, grab your ID for me.
Hold on. Okay.
Your ID, one task at a time. So let's do an ID, and then you can dig around for your paperwork.
I don't know where my ID is.
you got that stack right there, maybe.
1 second.
Check on her.
Let me do this.
We don't need a fire while we're here.
Right. Okay.
All right, now here's where I want you to watch carefully. Okay, because it happens really quickly. And I'm actually gonna see if I can just slow this down just a little bit. See what that does.
Okay. Where you going?
Huh?
Where you going?
Away from your hot steaming water.
Away from my hot steaming water?
Yeah.
Oh, I would rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Huh?
Rebuke you in the name of
You better fucking not. I swear to God, I'll fucking shoot you right in your fucking face.
Alright, Okay, I'm sorry.
Drop the fucking pot! Drop the fucking pot! Drop!
Okay. I'm just going to stop it there for a second. I had to watch this several times to figure out what exactly I was looking at because it happened so quick. I slowed it down so you get a sense of what happened. The minute she says, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, his hand is on his weapon. There's a whole counter in between them. He looks like he's at least 8 feet away from her. I don't understand what the threat was, but I'm going to...
You better fucking not. I swear to God, I'll fucking shoot you.
The way that he talks to her. Now, he tells her to get up and get to the pot. She didn't volunteer to get to the pot. He told her, we don't need a fire in here. So she gets up and she goes to tend to the pot. She gets her oven mitts. She's pouring the water out in the sink.
Huh? Away from your hot steaming water.
Away from my hot steaming water?
Yeah.
Okay. So if she poured the water out in the sink, then there's no more hot steaming water, right? Are y'all tracking? Y'all following me?
Oh, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Huh?
I rebuke you in the name of
You better fucking not. I swear to God, I'll fucking shoot you right in your fucking face.
Okay, I'm
So
sorry.
he tells her. All she said was, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. He says, you better not, or I'm going to shoot you in the face. And she says, okay. You see her, you can see her right here. I wish I could circle it. You see her backing down, backing away. He's got his weapon drawn. She says, okay. I'm sorry.
Drop the fucking pot! Drop the fucking
She goes down to the floor. You tell me where's the threat.
pot! Drop the fucking pot!
19 shots fired.
Shots fired! Shots fired! Drop the fucking pot! Bring EMS now. We got a headshot wound to the female. Headshot wound to the female.
So he's calling it in. But again, after he fires off 3 or 4 shots, whatever amount it was, he's still telling her to drop the pot. Drop the pot. Now, what's interesting here is that his perception of time is way off. And I say that because in my line of work, when you are facing disaster or emergency or this kind of a stressful situation, people respond differently. It's just like with 9/11. There are some people who stood out there looking out the window, watching, the first tower fall and not perceiving what was going on. There were those who clearly understood that the building was on fire. They needed to get out, but they couldn't move. For some people in disaster, everything moves very slow, very, very slow, like in slow motion. For some people, everything moves lightning fast, super fast. And then for others, they freeze and there's just nothing. They can't move, they can't speak, they can't respond. They're just frozen. His brain has not perceived what he just did. So even after he fired the shots, we can't see it. He can visibly see that she's on the ground. He mentions later on the fact that, she was wounded. The bullet penetrated her head. She's wounded. She's bleeding out. He can see all that because it doesn't take long. Okay. A person bleeds out. It happens right away. Fast. She's on the ground. She's incapacitated. She's dying. And he's telling her, drop the pot. What pot? Because she had been dropped the pot. She poured the water into the sink. She had red oven mitts in her hand. And she starts to go down. And she says, okay, I'm sorry. And he's telling her, drop the pot. Now she's already kind of getting down on the ground. She's already in a surrender position. Why did he do that? Did he let his emotions get the best of him? Is it because she said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, meaning that she was referring to him as a demon or a devil? Was it because he didn't value her life at all? He said what he was going to do, and he did it. Snoopalicious said, he had to say that to try to CYA. Well, too late, because we all got eyes. We all have eyes. That's not going to work. That's definitely not going to work. The second officer says the F word over and over and over because he knows it's bad. Like, he doesn't ask his partner, why did you do that? But in him, the way he says the F word, you know, and he says, let me go get my kit. And Grayson tells him, you know, listen, dude, so nonchalant, so nonchalant. That's a headshot. She's done. She's done. I mean, you can go get it, but it ain't gonna help. That was his response to a woman who clearly was having a mental health crisis, who was having trouble answering simple questions. And again, for me, it goes back to, I think, a lack of training when engaging with the mental health community, because we've seen this many times before. It's another young Black woman, and I'm sorry, I can't remember her name. Her family member called 911 on her because she wasn't taking her medication and she was having an episode. The officers took her, threw her on the ground, arrested her with her hands behind her back, threw her into the police car. Now, I'm used to one door being opened, but apparently this particular day, the officer in the front passenger seat got out of the vehicle, opened that side of the door. They put her in the vehicle and closed the door. And then the officers proceed to get back into the vehicle. Now, you explain to me how you get back into your vehicle and don't notice that the rear door is still open, because most cars today have an audible signal. She's also not wearing a seatbelt, and they drive off with her in the back seat, unsecured, with the door open. I don't have to tell you what happened. At some point, she was thrown from that vehicle and she lost her life. So I'll fast forward a little bit. The officer's response, because it's just like he doesn't have a care in the world.
God damn it. God, fuck. Dude, I'm not taking fucking boiling water in the fucking head. And look, it fucking came right to our feet, too.
Here's his excuse. I'm not taking boiling water to the head. There was no boiling water. There was no threat. But as someone said in the chat, he has to say that because he's trying to cover himself. Oh, I wasn't taking boiling water in the face. What boiling water? You got a lot of explaining to do, sir.
God damn it.
Fuck. God damn it.
You good?
I'm good. You good?
Yeah, I'm good. What's it up? Let her fucking just... God. Is that what you do, man? Fuck. Huh?
Where you going?
Hell. 78. No, head's up, bitch. She's done. You can go get it, but that's a
So this
headshot.
is the point where the second officer says, I want to go get my kit. And he says, dude, she's done. You can go get it, but that's a headshot. She's done. All right. And so there is another angle. They show the angle from Grayson's body cam. And it is through that body cam that you are able to clearly see that the only thing she had in her hands were oven mitts. It's clear. Okay. And if it were not for that body cam footage, they probably could have come up with some cockamamie story about, you know, how she had the pot and she was using the pot as a weapon. Yeah. And then later, the officer says, is EMS on the way? Is EMS on the way? And then he says, oh, yeah. Go to your car. Go get your kit. Well, I don't know what getting the kit at this point is going to do. Because It's already done.
She's still breathing, but she's losing a lot of blood from the head. I'll go get my med kit. I mean, there's not much we can do.
So notice, now that other officers are arriving, he says she's still breathing, but she's losing a lot of blood. Like, he's so concerned. And then the second officer says, I'm going to go get my med kit. He says, yeah, go get your med kit. Hurry. For real? Oh, now you're concerned because the boss is there. Because he knows his ass is grass.
Fuck! Do we got any call history with her being 1096?
So a 1096 in Illinois, because police codes vary from state to state and agency to agency, but a 1096 with this precinct or police department means a mental health, a person that has mental health issues, basically.
How do you explain why? Negative.
That would explain why. Well, that should have explained why they needed to treat this situation a little bit differently. And there was a question in the chat. Is it true that this is this guy's 6th precinct that he was relocated to? Has anyone else heard that? I'm going to look it up and see if I can get an answer for you. I wouldn't be surprised, though. And the challenge, Tony B, is that I don't believe that they are being trained how to de-escalate mental health crises. You have public safety officers and hospital police officers who work in healthcare, in hospitals with patients, who are taught how to de-escalate mental health crises. But I don't know if there is any type of law currently or standardized training currently across this country where officers are specifically given training on how to engage with the mental health community, the behavioral health community, and to de-escalate. It's always an escalation when it comes to Black and brown people. Man, woman, or child. It is always an escalation. In my field, we teach workplace violence. We teach de-escalation. Because there are things that you can do to de-escalate a situation. And then there are things that you may not realize that you're doing that can quickly escalate. I'll give you an example. Many of you know that I'm a New Yorker by birth. And that culture, we talk with our hands. We gesture. That's just how we talk. Right? But coming down here in the South, me gesturing like that and talking with my hands could be perceived by someone else as hostile. It could also trigger someone like, get your hands out my face. Now, my hands may not even be in their face, but because I'm gesturing. And so there are things like that I have to be mindful in certain places when I'm doing presentations and I'm speaking with people and I'm in areas where I'm dealing with the mental health community. I've got to be very mindful about things like gesturing. Got to be mindful about things such as, for example, it's important to maintain eye contact, right? If my eyes are darting all over the place, that might make somebody uncomfortable. Why won't she look me in the face? And Georgia Pete 7777 gave us our answer. That's correct. He worked for 6 different agencies. The sad part is that these officers, that's what I said I'm not surprised, these officers, A lot of them that end up doing things like this have had multiple complaints against them. They leave one precinct, they go to another. We don't conduct background checks in law enforcement. We don't need references. Sometimes these precincts will give them a reference just because they want them out. And that's the sad part. You have some people who will pass on a defective employee to somebody else. Absolutely. How do you lose your life over a pot of hot water? We don't know how long that water was on the stove. I mean, the woman looked like she was in the bed. All the lights were out in the home. She said, I have to put on some clothes, sir. For all we know, she might have put that pot of water on the stove before she went to the door as a means of having some way to protect herself. I say that because the first words out of her mouth when she answered the door is, please don't hurt me. She was fearful for her life the second she opened the door. And Grayson is a big dude. He's not just tall. He's like football big, you know? So when I think about some of the issues that are important as we enter this next election, that's what I'm looking out for. The economy is going to do what the economy is going to do. Not a whole lot we can do about that. You know, not a whole lot we can do to increase jobs or improve jobs. I see help wanted signs everywhere. I'm just saying. The border is the border. I know that that's an issue that's important to a lot of people. There are some people who do feel like this country is too open. There are some people like, well, I mean, you know, it is what it is, you know, then they're not taking my job, you know. People have mixed feelings about that. But again, it is what it is. We know that we have people that live in this country who are not natural born citizens in this country and do not yet have a green card. We know that. But we got an even bigger issue than that. Reproductive rights is important as well, right? Because as it stands right now, women, we don't really have them, right? But there's an even bigger issue here, a systemic issue here that's affecting more people than the immigrants coming in this country, more people than the women that, you know, are having to deal with the fact that their reproductive rights have been taken away. And that's law enforcement. The people who are supposed to protect us shouldn't have to fear the uniform and the badge. I remember when I used to get excited when I would see a police officer when I was little. I used to wave at the fire trucks as they would go by, and they would wave back, and I felt good. You know, I used to get excited when I saw a police officer, you know, with the their SU, well, it wasn't SUVs back then, their Crown Victoria, whatever it was, you know, parked in the neighborhood. You know, I'd run up to the car. Hi, officer. Hi, officer. Hi. I was excited. I wasn't afraid. Not now. I wouldn't dare. I'm just saying. I wouldn't dare walk up to any police vehicle and say hi anything. I mean, if they speak, obviously I'm going to speak back, but you get where I'm going. You get where I'm going. I want to hear about what's going to be done about the over policing issue, the excessive use of force against the Black community. I want to hear what they plan to do about it. And for me, a lot of it has to do with two things. Training is one, but also making it very clear that that officers will not have immunity. And if they do things like this, they will lose their job, and not just their job and their benefits, but they will potentially lose their freedom because they could very easily, because I don't believe that police officers are above the law. I just don't believe that. But I also believe that there is a lack of training. I also believe that racism plays a big part of it as well. But training is what I do in my day job. And so I start with that. Are they even being trained? We can't fault some of these officers for what they weren't trained to do. Because I did a live. Was it live or a video? Yeah, I did a live. And I know when I do difficult topics like this, I'm not going to have the hundreds of people in the live, and that's okay. I don't do lives just because I'm looking for 500 and 600 people. If there's 5 of you in here, we going to have a key if that's what we doing. I could have a picnic with just one of y'all. Just let me be clear. Hey, Tiger Lily, how are you, Queen? But we can't fault these officers for what they're not being trained to do. And I did a whole live about a Black Atlanta PD, okay, officer. Atlanta police officer who tased a 70-year-old man who was a deacon coming back from Bible study, tased him to death. Literally tased him to death. It was a minor fender bender. And the old man didn't want to sign the citation. And by law, he didn't have to. He asked for a supervisor. And the officer said, okay, no problem. I'll get my supervisor, but continued to engage. And when the man refused to sign the paper, oh, he decided to raise up. Now, I'm going to show you. It was an ego thing. And wrestled this man to the ground. And what's even more sad is that the DOT tow truck driver also got involved and held this man down. And the officer, this Black officer, tased this older Black man. What happens to respecting your elders? You know, old people, some older people can be a little ornery, a little bit. You know, he had a little attitude, but he's an old man. That man's not a threat to you. Over a fender bender? And the DOT guy proceeds to hold this man down. They tased him. The officer tases the man once. And the man has a heart condition, and he's telling him, wait, hold on. I can't breathe. He leaves this world, a 70-year-old man, crying for his mama. Tased over and over again. That officer put that taser up to the highest setting. And he claimed that he only tased this man in his arm when he really tased him in his neck. Because you could see it on the body cam. And the man just goes limp. And then they proceed. He's yelling at the guy to get up. You're going to have to get up now. They proceed to prop this man up. 20 minutes. They got him propped up on the sidewalk, talking to him, they're like, well, rub his chest. Give him a sternum rub. For real, a sternum rub? He done went on to Jesus. A sternum rub. And this was a Black officer. So this is not just a white issue. It's a systemic issue within law enforcement. And I attribute it back to the fact that law enforcement, to my knowledge, doesn't require much education. I'm an advocate for education. Okay. I would not go to an unlicensed dentist. You don't want Wisdom's daughter trying to pull your wisdom tooth. You don't want Wisdom's daughter trying to help put in a filling and drilling and all of that. I don't know about dentistry. I didn't go to school for that. But I can tell you one thing. I wouldn't go to an unlicensed dentist, just like I wouldn't go to an unlicensed surgeon. You know, you don't want your neighbor. Would you have your neighbor do open heart surgery on you? No, you go to a licensed. You expect that your surgeon, your doctor is licensed and certified by the medical board. I don't allow unlicensed cosmetologists to do my hair. You putting chemicals in my hair and you haven't gone to school. You don't have a certificate, a degree, a diploma, nothing. Not touching my head. Why don't we require more education from law enforcement? I believe if they don't have a bachelor's degree, if they just have 30 credits, or I think it was 30 credits, 1 year, don't even have to complete. You can't even have the position that I currently hold. You can't have my position without a master's degree. My position requires a master's degree. But law enforcement. So you give someone who lacks education, who's probably on a power trip because they couldn't make it work doing anything else, or they got the badge and got the uniform and got to liking it and got a big head. You ever work with somebody like that? They get a little bit of a position and it goes to their head. I see that in a lot of these officers. This officer was nasty, Grayson, and sarcastic, and he was on one from the time he knocked on this lady's door. Hey, Leo lady, how are you doing? June's Poetry said, being a Black boy coming up in New Orleans, the police made it very clear to us that officer friendly was a fantasy and an officer would have no problem taking your life at the age of 6 or 7 really hit. I'm going to drop the link in case anyone does want to comment. It doesn't have to just be on this issue. It could be on anything. But I'm gonna drop the call-in link in case someone does want to call in. And we're not gonna be here long because I told you guys this is not gonna be a long live. It's not gonna be a 2 or 3 hour live. It's just that we have so far to go. And I think as a Black community and as a community in general, it's not just about the Black community, but I think we got comfortable, and feeling like, okay, wow, we're okay because I can buy a home in a white neighborhood. And, I have neighbors that are all right with me and I'm all right with them, because I can hold a position that requires a master's degree. And I have colleagues who are in similar positions who are a different race from me. So for me, that feels equal right now. It may not be equal pay, but I'm just saying, right? But don't be fooled. We talked about this in another live that I did. Well, it wasn't a live that I did. It was a show that I did on the radio about prisons being the new plantation and the eye-opening knowledge or the eye-opening revelation that slavery is legal in this country as it relates to criminals, because that's the 13th Amendment. It's right there in black and white. Leo Lady said, I know it's sad we can't trust those who swore to protect and serve. The vetting process is not enforced. They need more schooling and more training in diversity and mental illness. Here's why I'm an advocate for education. Because that's the one thing they can't take away from you, right? I have a career. You could take this current position from me, but you can't take away my education, my training and experience. That goes with me everywhere I go, which means I can take my career somewhere else if I needed to. These officers don't have that security of knowing. And I'm smug about the letters behind my name, right? I get paid for my expertise. However, I get a check whether they take my recommendation or not. And if they don't like my recommendation or if they don't like how I work or my work ethic or the work that I do, I can go somewhere else. I'm not stuck. That's the beautiful thing about education. They can't take it from you. It's portable, right? You can it's transferable to any other career, any other place, any other job. But with these officers, they don't have, there's a certain pride that comes with knowing that you studied hard and that's your validation. You went through a 4-year program and you studied and you learned something and you came out on the other side. And that degree is that's your stamp of approval of saying that you went through this curriculum and you are approved. There's a certain amount of pride that comes with that. I see it a lot in the church. You have people who don't have status in their work lives, but they get a little position in the church and it goes to their head. You can't even refer to them as Mr. or Mrs. anything. It's Deacon so-and-so. It's Reverend Doctor. Okay. I see it with these officers. And some of them, because they are not educated, they're ignorant. I'm sorry. They don't have basic problem-solving skills. They don't have critical thinking skills. And if they do, it's very slow. They're not able to quickly think on their feet or make a fast and logical quick decision. It's immediately reaching for the weapon. They look at Black and brown people. Why are we always the threat? Amir Rice, 12 years old, playing in a park. Somebody calls it in that there's a man. Now look here. I didn't know that down south y'all could grow kids as big as we grow them down here. Because I took my child to hang out with his friends. And they were all 8th graders except for one. One of them, I think, is going to the 11th grade. But the 8th grade is now going to the 9th grade. And I said, what in the hell are y'all eating? Because when I was your age, 8th graders didn't come in your size. I'm just saying. We were little. But this little, he was little. He didn't even look 12. I looked on the video and thought he was 10 or 11. Playing and is shot down by police. So if a child isn't safe, what are we doing? So that's what I want to hear about. I want to hear about police reform. I want to hear about how what I'm looking for is not just a state thing. I'm not looking for you to just let the states decide. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a national law enforcement training program, a standardized program that will teach them about DEI, that will teach them about diversity, equity, and inclusion, that will teach them how to engage and befriend the community and to restore faith, right? They're afraid of us. We're afraid of them. And when people are afraid, they do stupid things. And some of them just don't care. I said in the last video that I did, and I'll get to that in a second, that criminals don't need a reason, right? People who take issue with someone from another race, people who think they're superior, who are on a power trip, who are egotistical, who are narcissistic, don't need a reason. That officer didn't need a reason to take that woman's life. He really didn't. You know, he was grasping at straws. Oh, because she said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. That wasn't going to hurt you. And that water wasn't going to reach you because she had already poured the water out. So y'all, I was trying to record a video. I was supposed to go live yesterday. And I said, all right, Lord, you just don't want me to go live this week because every day something kept coming up. And then a couple of other people, were live. And I said, okay, I'm going to record a video. And it's been storming here in Georgia. It's like July showers bring August flowers. It has been stormy. Hey, Cornell Elliott from Norfolk, Virginia. I got some peoples in Norfolk and also in the Chesapeake area. Norfolk, Virginia got the best seafood, y'all. Y'all want some seafood and you want something other than South Carolina, y'all need to go to Virginia. But so it's just been storming and it's like off and on, and it's been like this for like the past week now, where it was like a heavy downpour. Forget an umbrella, forget a poncho. It's over. And so I recorded my video, and I don't know what happened. I was trying to do something in StreamYard, and apparently it just recorded the audio. And I thought because I could see the thumbnail, I never looked at the video. I didn't do a test of it to see, but there was no video, y'all. There was no video. And so I thank y'all, those of you who listen, because I guess it was podcast style. And I might explore that from time to time, because some of y'all said, you know what, this was great because I was able to cook and listen to you without, having to be tempted to look at my phone and see what I'm missing. But yeah, that was not intentional. I know there are some people out there who disagreed with some of what I said, and that's okay. We can respectfully disagree without being enemies. I respect differences of opinion, even if I don't agree. But no, I wasn't hiding my face. And that was not intentional. I would not listen. There's some content creators that don't care what they put up on YouTube. Me, if you guys notice, I care about the quality of my work. I would not purposely put a video up there with the screen black the entire time. So sorry about that, but thank you guys for those of you who listened anyway, those of you who liked the video anyway, those of you who subscribed anyway. I appreciate that because Wisdom family, we are almost at 5,000 subscribers. We are almost there. And that is thanks to all of you. So I thank all of you that have subscribed to the channel to show your support, because it doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. It really doesn't. And many of you have gifted monetary gifts, which of course, as always, I appreciate. But then there are those of you who don't have it, or you need to do other things with your money, and that's okay. Because everything's not about money. So if you have not subscribed to Wisdom's Daughter and you're enjoying my commentary and you've been to the picnics and you are enjoying those picnics, I put Nightbot timeout. So we didn't see too much of the Nightbot tonight, but we are so close to 5,000 subscribers. And I do believe that we can get there in the next 30 days. So remember to share my channel with your family and friends, those of you who like to have a kiki. 117. We are 117 subscribers away from 5,000. And so we will get there. And 5,000 is a milestone because it's all about momentum. Once you get to 5,000, it just gets a little bit easier from there. I think for many new content creators, 5,000 is kind of like that first benchmark, and then 10,000. And then we just keep going. And so, as I said before, I cannot do it without you. So those of you who are subscribed, shout out to the Wisdom Ambassadors and the Wisdom VIPs. I'm going to get because some of you may want to watch it, but I will put the full body cam footage up in members. And got something else to share with you, because it's not that many of you here, but that's okay, because it's not about quantity. Like I said, y'all going to get all of Wisdom's Daughter, regardless of how many people are at the picnic. So hold on one second, I lost my screen. So just a little update. Leo lady said we love the picnics. Uncle Willie's working working the P Jones. No. Lex for Val 0429 in the building. Oh, June's poetry. I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that in a second, and we can definitely have that discussion. So the young prince is going to be studying in New York. He's going to be returning to New York for high school, and in upstate, and we're really excited for that. He's going to be going to a good school. He'll be playing football, and he will be with his dad. June's poetry and Tony B and the other men that are on, you guys know how important it is and how crucial it is that as our young boys enter that transition phase where they're transitioning from young boys to young men, it's a very crucial phase. It's a very crucial time. And I have seen what can happen when there is a disconnect or there isn't a male presence, and most specifically that of a father, whether it's their biological father or not. And I deal with grown men in my day-to-day life who clearly have some daddy issues and could probably be traced back to their teenage years. So he and his father, myself and his dad have made the decision for him to live with his dad. So as we would say back in the day, so his daddy can make a man out of him. Because I've done a great job with my son. Me and his father, we co-parent. However, there are things that dad needs and wants to teach him that cannot be done over the phone, that cannot be done just on the Christmas holiday and the Thanksgiving holiday and, a couple weeks over the summer. And so his dad is really stepping up to usher him into this next phase, because the high school years are challenging. And I am mama and I do a great job, but I am not a man and I cannot be dad. So yes, thank you guys so much. Yeah, I am very excited. Okay, of course I love my baby. My friends are like, girl, you giving up? No, not you giving up your baby. No, I'm not giving up my baby. I've had him pretty much for 14 years. He has been in my physical custody for most of his life, and we've been co-parenting for years. But I think that is the best decision for him. And I am excited because I'm aware. Listen, I'm a strong woman, and I believe that I can do all things through Christ. But I'm wise enough to know that, again, there are some things that as a woman, I just can't teach my son. Or see, this is what I said to a friend of mine earlier. I can talk to my son, but I can't teach my son. There's a difference. Do y'all understand the difference? See, I can talk to him, but daddy can teach him. Because there are some things that he will hear from me that he may not receive because I'm mom and I'm a woman. So there we have it. But God is good because I believe that things happen right when they should. And so there are a lot of opportunities for me right now. There's a lot happening in my career. There's a lot happening at the church. And this is going to free me up to be able to do and be more involved in the things that God has placed before me, including this YouTube channel and also my other YouTube channel, Bad Girls Talk, that I am planning the launch for. And so I am excited. I will be somewhat of an empty nester, not exactly, because I have my two freeloaders, aka my fur babies, Allie and Gigi. So they will still be here, keeping mama company. So thank you so much, Leo Lady and Deborah Person. Thank you. Snoopalicious said, my son asked to go live with his dad. He told me he could teach him how to be a man. Honey, that did not last long. Snoopalicious said he's 36 now and says he didn't think that one through. Best of luck with son and dad time. Good on you. You know, it's funny. Some years ago I had asked my son if he wanted to. He must have been like maybe 10 or 11. You want to live with me? You want to live with your dad? He was like, I want to stay with you. I said, why you don't want to go live with your dad? He just gave me a look. You know how your child can look at you and you already know what they're thinking. They don't have to say it. And so I was like, it wouldn't be that bad. But the difference is his back then it was a totally different situation. His dad has purchased a home. He's a homeowner. He has a very beautiful, kind-spirited, stable woman in his life who has been so generous and kind to my son and treated my son like her own when he was there. And that means something. That means a lot to me. And so I know that I can trust her with my child. She's been in his life for a number of years now. And the fact that they've got a home and a stable environment and stable financially. And so, like I said, God is good. The timing is right. Deborah Person said, if it wasn't for my husband, my grandson wouldn't be ahead as he is because his father passed away. Absolutely. While I was working on my master's degree, my parents took my son for me so that I could get through that program. It was it was an accelerated program. And like the military, it was designed to, what's the word that I'm looking for? Or the phrase that I'm looking for. It was designed for people to fall away who couldn't handle the program. The program was designed to push you to the limit so that only the strongest would survive. I don't know if I would do a program like that again if I had it to do over again because it was tough. It was really, really tough. And so my father, my stepfather, has really been that role model in my son's life, especially when he was younger. And then I moved to Georgia. And so, they come and visit when they can, but it hasn't exactly been the same. And so, and as I said, not that he doesn't have male role models, but my son has always been close to his dad. And so like I said, he's ecstatic because he's like, oh, I get my son and I get the, so now he can kind of really do some of those things that he feels are important. And I'm in support of that. But Snoopalicious, I definitely gave my son the rundown and I let him know, listen, your daddy ain't gonna tolerate this right here. I let you get away with some stuff. And there's some things when you be pushing my buttons, but your daddy ain't gonna repeat himself. He gonna tell you one time before you might be picking yourself up off the floor. Let me just say that. Leo Lady said, congratulations, Dad, for doing what's best for your son. Proud of you, WD, for being a great mother. Thank you so much. We should treat any child that way because they are all ours. Exactly. I wholeheartedly believe that. And the reality is, though, is that not all women look at it that way. And I don't trust my child with just anybody. And I'm thankful that my son's father, my ex-husband, is the same way. The same way. Like we don't, we trust, but we verify, right? Because again, as New Yorkers, we are bred to be skeptical and untrusting, right? We gonna verify. I heard today that her nephew was unalived by that same department, which is why she probably told them not to hurt her. Oh wow. Lily Thurn is referring to Sonya Massey, that she had a nephew that lost their lives to the same department. And so she may have been fearful. And that could be why she called 911 back. Like, can you send somebody else? I don't want them. I don't know how this area works, but it sounds like she called one department and a different department responded, which can happen because sometimes they will send the closest units. So it is very, very possible. So I am looking forward to more picnics. There's been a lot, like I said, going on in the city of Atlanta, one thing after another, and because of the kind of work that I do, it has been a lot. But I'm looking forward to more picnics, more time with you, because I definitely have been falling off. Now I work full time. I'm not trying to compete with these full time YouTubers, but I do YouTube because I really enjoy it. I really have fun with all of you. I have a great time at the picnic. So on tomorrow night, we matter of fact, where's my notes? I left it in the other room. But tomorrow night, we're gonna talk about some Shirley, some Ernest Williams, aka Nesto, Zesty Nesty, and some Sonya. Because Nesto, my question is about Shirley, and at what point did she realize that Nesto was using her money for his side piece? Okay. So we're gonna be talking about that. The call where she's like, you're out of money because Nesto slipped up. And I don't think she's on. Kiki, I don't think Kiki is on, but oh my God, the comments on phone calls from prison. So what we're going to do tomorrow, we're going to have a picnic. I'm going to try to do our picnic and start at 7 because it's going to be a 2-hour picnic, but we're going to listen to that video because it's short. We're going to look at some of these comments because what Jim's poetry for real. He said he going to let Uncle Willie out the basement. All right, and I'll take Nightbot off punishment. We'll so they can hang out. Because we ain't have no Handy tonight, but no, I had to put Nightbot in the timeout. But we're gonna talk about that call because Nesto he slipped up, and Shirley did catch it because she responded and he came with some cockamamie story. But then we got the side hand got the nerve to be judging Shirley's job. And not even her job, her career, when you don't have one. Talking about she old and need to be retired. She got some nerve. And I don't know if we're gonna get to all these calls in one night, but y'all, I re-listened to a Dre. I'm not a Dre. Peach Cobbler, I'm thinking about you. You just came out my mouth. A Lamont and Nesto call, baby. Lamont and Nesto was on this call talking about some hoes. And I said to myself, Nesto, that would have been a good time for him to say, stop talking. Because when we first listened to these calls, it's like I don't even know how to. It's like, for me, it's like reading the Bible. Every time you read it, you get a little bit more. I've listened to this call twice before, but listening to it earlier today was eye opening, and I said, "Oh my gosh," because it sounded like to me like Lamont had a whole enterprise going on, and he might have implicated himself in this damn call. But my question is, did Shirley know Nesto's plans for when he got out? Because Lamont over here talking about he got 22 hoes for Nesto. 22. And he could even get a 3-piece right now. All right, y'all. Leo Lady said, I'm ready. I'm off Friday. Let's party. Leo Lady, is tomorrow's Thursday. But we are going to, I'm planning to picnic on Friday as well, because between these 3 calls, I don't believe I'll be able to get to everything within that 2-hour window. So we might have a part 1 and part 2. But we're gonna have a good time. You know what happened the last time we sent Uncle Willie and Nightbot on a liquor store run? They drank up everything in the store and then come back. But yeah, so we will picnic on tomorrow evening. I will get the announcement out so that you guys know what time I'm planning to go live, because some of you are not getting the notifications. When it does pop up, you can click notify so that it will manually notify you. And again, I do apologize for the video with the black screen yesterday, but you guys are troopers. Y'all are rocking with Wisdom's daughter. I'm feeling the love. I appreciate you guys so much. All right, that's all I got for y'all tonight, allegedly. No. So y'all know how this go. Be safe, be at peace, and keep your eyes and your ears to these social media streets. And I will see y'all on the next one. Matter of fact, I'm going to see y'all tomorrow night at the next picnic. All right, now, bye, y'all.